Begin with a heartbroken mother seeking accountability. She reached out to 2 News saying her son was beat to death near OU's campus. She says the people who killed her son aren't facing the consequences they deserve. Tonight, I'm listening to her story.
No one's handling it well. No one expects their brother or their son to die. No one should have to bury their kid. I never get to hug him again. I never get to hear his voice again. They were just getting to that stage where they weren't just siblings anymore. They were becoming best friends.
Joseph Powell had his sights set on an engineering degree at OU, but a change of heart led him to the National Guard for training to become a medic. After a year off, he returned to Norman. He joined the rugby team and briefly walked on the football team. When he last left Miami for Norman, it would be the last time his family would see him alive. Amanda Powell, Joseph's mom, says a night of celebrations at the bar turned deadly. Her son was beaten to death, she said. 2 News obtained the police report from Norman PD. It says simply, quote, "I was dispatched to a reported altercation at 305 East Boyd Street. This report is being completed for assault. All involved parties had been identified. No one has been arrested. One individual was taken to the hospital in critical condition." 5 days later, Joe's parents made an impossible decision, taking him off life support. How could a parent possibly make that decision?
We made it after we talked to the neurosurgeon that did the surgery on him that morning. So it was days later when we made the decision after he had had the MRI, and it showed the massive amount of injury to the brainstem. He couldn't breathe on his own. He couldn't eat on his own. He couldn't move his legs. He couldn't respond. He couldn't blink. He was so full of life. He never stopped moving. He's never stopped doing. And I knew he wouldn't want that. He wouldn't want to live like that.
Joseph died back in March. Powell tells me the Cleveland County DA has yet to charge anyone in the case. They haven't so much as identified any suspects. Meredith Harmon, the first assistant DA, tells me the office is, quote, "meeting with the Powell family in the coming weeks to discuss our review of the investigation of the death of Joseph Powell. We will refrain from making any comment on our charging decision until after that meeting."
They can't prove that he wasn't fatally wounded in the 2 hours that we don't know exactly where he was.
Amanda provided her son's death certificate to me. It lists his cause of death as blunt force trauma to the head. Assault is the listed cause for the trauma.
Even though their friend, their cousin, their nephew, their child needs to have some consequence for their actions, and that those consequences might take them away, at least they're still going to be able to talk to that person. They're still going to be able to see that person. They're still going to be able to hug that person. I don't get that ever again. As a mother, I never get that again.
You can see just how painful it was for Amanda to share her story, but she's speaking out, hoping someone will send Norman PD or the Cleveland County District Attorney's Office that key piece of evidence. That's what it will take for consequences to become a reality. I've linked the contact info for both agencies and this story on our free 2 News app.